A new contender arrives. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, after what, 2.5 years, maybe more than that, of just the WWE having the monopoly on 10 years ago. Tonight, a new contender arrives. Total Nonstop Action. Apart from when they're doing promos or something. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this. This right here is going to be another episode of 10 years ago, and we're going to go for a change tonight, because as I said at the start, after 2 years, 2.5 years, better part of 3 years of the WWE being the only focus of 10 years ago, tonight and for the next X amount of years going forward, 2 companies as part of 10 years ago. Tonight we're going to be looking at TNA Victory Road 2004. Now, this would not be the right place, would it, to go through the history of TNA? It would take fucking ages, because there's 2 years of material here. Of course, there's just better places to find. Go look at the LOL TNA site, for example. That's got all the great moments in TNA history for you right there. The basics go like this. The company's formed in 2002 by Jeff and Jarrett they wanted an alternative to the WWE, which makes perfect sense. Instead of going the traditional way of having a TV show and house shows and all that jazz, instead they decided to put on weekly pay-per-views with almost predictable results, because people will not pay, especially for a star fed. You can overload it with all the old school stars who used to be in WCW all you want, and the best guys on the indies, but at the end of the day people haven't heard of them, and it's going to be difficult. Anyway, the point is, the pay-per-views didn't work, and they had a fucking lawyer or something like that who told them that the figures were X amount when they were actually X amount, and they were just hyphening money. They just were shitting money, pissing it away, as 'twere. Panda Energy got involved through, I think Jeff Jarrett was basically just asking anyone, if you got a contact who could possibly get us some cash, can you tell them all about us? And they did. And Dixie Carter was part of TNA in some respect. I can't remember how. But yeah, she talked to her dad, and her dad owned Panda Energy, and Panda Energy essentially bought TNA off the Jarretts. Dixie Carter put in charge. There we go. Managed to get themselves a TV deal where they could show their flagship show, Impact, and tonight is their first proper 3-hour pay-per-view. We are live at the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida, with 700 people on board, not a single soul who paid to get in. Mike Tenay, Don West on commentary. Don West looks like he's trying to be a spaceman. What I mean by that is he's wearing a silver shirt with a silver tie. Also, Don West shouts a lot. You'd think, the way that his commentary is done, that Mike Tenay is on the other side of the building. Don West is clearly not from a wrestling background. And what I mean by that is that he doesn't know when to raise his voice. I understand his enthusiasm when a spot going, oh my God, look at that. You save it. This is something I learned as a commentator. You save it for the finish, because think about it, you already know what the finish is. You've been told that's how this works. If you didn't know that, you always know what the result is. I always said I'd prefer it if I didn't know, so my reactions were genuine, but you can't do that. It just doesn't work. So you need to make it so that oh my God, that's incredible, is at the finish, all right? Because then if you go, oh my God, that's incredible, for a fucking leg drop, for example, when you actually get to the finish, when you actually get to the end of the match, and you're going, oh my God, that's incredible. It's like, yeah, but your vocal tone was exactly the same for that leg drop that happened 10 minutes earlier. So it don't quite work like that. Anyway, I'm ranting. We see a limo pull up earlier on, and Jeff Jarrett gets out. Shane Douglas is on interviewing duties for tonight, for some reason. And he interviews him, and Jeff Jarrett says that Kevin Nash, and this is important for the main event, will definitely not be here tonight, alright? Bear that in mind. That's important. Our opening contest is Hector Garza winning a 20-man X Division Battle Royal. Okay, nice and simple here, I think, as TNA goes. Anyway, Rumble-style entrances. There's an entrance every 60 seconds, and it's over the top rope to eliminate your opponent until because there's a little catch, until it goes down to the last 2 men, alright? And then it's pinfall or submission, and the winner gets a fuck off big trophy. And I assume they're number 1 contender to the X Division Championship. If they said that, I've forgotten about it, right? We've got a great way. I think this is a good way to start off the show. One of the things that TNA is all about is being an alternative to the WWE, and the biggest thing that the biggest thing that they've got going for this company is their X Division, all right? This is a no weight limits, everything goes crazy, crazy, crazy. It's usually cruiserweights, but later on people like Joe and I think Kurt Angle held the X Division Championship, people like that. It's all good. So, here we go. Kaz out first, and he instantly bothers me. You know me, right? I don't like it when people have stuff written on their ass, on their pants, right? Because 9 times out of 10, it's a lie. This all came about because of the Scottish wrestler called Andy Wilde, and he had unstoppable on his ass. He's unstoppable Andy Wilde, which is all good until he loses the match, and then he's just been stopped. And so you just go, well, no, I don't like being lied to via the medium of pants. So if you've got the coolest written on your ass, and you're not the coolest, fuck it, that's me rambling. Anyway, West annoys me 30 seconds into this match. This is what I was talking about at the start, right? For example, Sanjay Dutt gets thrown over the top, and West goes bonkers. I understand it's an elimination over the top rope kind of match, but his commentary is fucking awful. Also, at one point a moment later, someone gets kicked in the stomach, yeah? West says, you can feel that in your own guts. And I'm sat there, A, 10 years ago, so no. 2, other side of the Atlantic, so even if I'm watching it live, no, I can't. Because there's nothing hit me in my own gut. Oh, West, you're a moron. Another thing that bothers me about this match, yeah? And I'm sorry to generalise the whole of America, but it's a puma, alright? The big cat is called a puma. It's not a puma. It's spelled P-U-M-A, not P-O-O-M-A, alright? It's a puma. The guy is called Puma. That's his name. Not Puma. That's ridiculous. Oh, fucking Christ. Little things. Pop for La Parka, who comes out as LA Park. That's a nice little touch. There's a guy called Miyamoto. He comes out dressed as the Great Muta to the point where I think it is Great Muta. I have to actually go and check. There's a guy called Jarrett Clark in this match. He's apparently the master of the 630 splash. It's not Jack Evans. No. It's Jarrett Clark, who I've never heard of before or since. You can probably imagine how nuts Don West goes when a 630 splash goes down. Also, one last point before we actually talk about what actually happens in the match. There's a guy in the match called D-Ray 3000. To me, D-Ray 3000 sounds like a brand of washing powder. You can probably imagine how a match like this goes. Because a guy comes out every 60 seconds, the ring fills up very, very quickly. There are some nice spots in there, don't get me wrong. There is a stunning springboard corkscrew moonsault by Clark. Saving gets a stunning tornado DDT, kicking people as he goes round. You know, tornado DDT, he goes round. As he goes round, he does like a full rotation and kicks his opponents as he goes round. That is absolutely stunning. There's a 7-man at least Tower of Doom spot that looks really, really nice, and it's called a Tower of Doom by today. It's one of those, I don't know how we feel about that one. Shut up out there. Damn it, motorbike. Yeah, it goes down to... Oh, sorry, there's also a huge German suplex off the top rope by Sabian on Kazarian, and Kazarian, while he's in midair, comes down and hits Garza on the top of the head with his foot. That looks great. Anyway, it goes down to Garza and Kaz. They're the last two, so like I say, pinfall or submission. Garza gets 2 off a sweet moonsault. Kaz gets 2 off a perfect springboard DDT. Absolutely gorgeous. Garza misses a corkscrew moonsault, but is able to counter roll to win. Get this, yeah. Your opening contest, is specialised in the X Division. You want it to be fast. Surely you don't want it to go 26 minutes like this one did. By God. It's the X Division in a nutshell, in my opinion. It's some nice spots that you won't remember tomorrow. Nothing ties the spots together. There's no psychology. There's no storytelling. There's nothing. If you like this sort of thing, if you don't have a problem with that sort of match, you probably love this. But you know me, storytelling is my rock, so I didn't enjoy it. There wasn't as many crazy spots, is what I'll say, as I was expecting there to be in this match. Hector Garza cuts a promo in Spanish after the match, which is good for him. Also, there was one more thing before we go on to the next thing, and that is that there was a lot of production problems I felt in this one. Spots would go down that we didn't see, alright? Excuse me. Now, Tenay, to his credit, says the action's so fast we can't keep track of everything, but there are times some of the spots are missed where that's just straight balls, because that's the only spot that's happening in the ring. shit. Next, we get a video on why we should vote for Dusty Rhodes to be the Director of Authority tonight. It's Dusty Rhodes, Vince Russo. We fans get to vote on what if we don't want either of them, is my thought. This show, this is one of the things that makes me smile so much. It probably doesn't make me smile, it shouldn't make me smile as much as it does, but it just does. The fact this show is sponsored by Backyard Wrestling 2, the video game. Don't encourage people to do backyarding, but here's a game that's made all about, oh, stupid. Anyway, the point is, Dusty Rhodes leads Vince Russo by 54%. Now, the way they do this, they make it sound like the votes are coming in from the various states in America, like it was a presidential election, for example. So, Scott Hudson says that there's been a web server's gone down in Stamford, Connecticut, and it's like they're trying to imply something like, so many people from Stamford, Connecticut have voted that they crashed the server. But to me, it sounds like they're actually trying to imply that the WWE might have something to do with this. Because, of course, their headquarters is in Stamford, Connecticut. It's one of those, this is weird. Anyway, our next match is an 8-man tag. And Hudson talks to Kid Kash, who says that he's the captain of his team. And his teammates don't look very happy about this at all. So next, get this one, yeah? I mean, you read this out and you just go, really? Ron Killings, Erik Watts, Jonny B. Bad, and Pat Kenney defeating Kid Kash, Dallas, Chase Stevens, and Andy Douglas, who of course are the Naturals, in a rubbish match. Yes, people, you heard that right. Erik Watts on pay-per-view in 2004. I don't know how that one works at all. Pat Kenney, you may have heard of, he's the former Simon Diamond back in ECW. Jonny B. Bad looks, well, it looks two things. It looks like a drag artist who hasn't got his makeup on, and he also looks old, man. I mean, really old. Killings, you know, as R-Truth in WWE, he's a former 2-time NWA World Champion in one of those, well, you learn something new every day, don't you, sort of thing. It's like, really? Anyway, Dallas is the highlight of this one. The former or the future Lance Hoyt, I forget which one it is, he hits a ridiculous sidewalk slam in this match, absolutely huge. He also goes for a moonsault, which, although it misses, the reason I've written it down is because the hang time he gets off it is absolutely ridiculous. There is no story in this one, it's just a bunch of poor-looking spots. The finish is Jonny Bad, to his credit, getting a really nice Rana, and a double-arm DDT getting the win for Truth. This was crap. In the back, a limo is here, so Shane Douglas wants to talk to whoever is in it, but a security guard is having none of it, and says that Kevin Nash definitely isn't in it, alright? Because Kevin Nash is definitely not here. Don't forget that, it's important. Alright? Then, Abyss is going under. He's in a dark room, we've got an infrared camera on him. Apparently, Abyss, Monty Brown, and Raven have been locked in a sensory deprivation room for 24 hours with no food and no water to make them crazy for the Monsters Ball match that we've got coming up. So, we've got Abyss going, and you're like, yeah, doesn't he just do that anyway? Anyway, next, check this shit out, people. Fucking A. Mascarita Sagrada defeated Piratita Morgan in a rubbish midgets match. Hooray for little people. They're going for the bit of everything on this card, really, aren't they? Let's just do everything. Poor spots, awful comedy combined to waste everyone's time are my exact notes for this. This match is so bad, I don't even write down how they win. Sagrada, which is Spanish for church, is it not? Is it not? Am I right on that one? But, yeah. Wins somehow. But, yes. Hudson reminds us that this game is indeed sponsored by Backyard Wrestling Game, and that Dusty Rhodes leads the votes by 54%. And then Conan cuts one of his awful promos. We're in 2004, yeah? He cuts exactly the same promo that he cut on Fall Brawl 1998. So 6 years later, let's just cut the same promo, fuck it. We're just getting paid, fuck it. Holy fuck, guys! Here's Scott Hall! Ha! Fans chant TNA, obviously. I'm sure that's something we're going to get very, very used to over the next coming months. It's not a party without Scott Hall. The bad news, Scott Hall said. The good news, it's not a party until Scott Hall's here. Bad news is that Kevin Nash, right, is definitely not here. All right? Definitely. He's not here. Okay? He's very interested in the match because he was in the main event, sorry, because he was at the first TNA tapings and he invented the ladder match, which isn't true. So yeah, and then he wins. The best thing he says in this whole thing is, may the best Jeff win. Jeff Hardy, Jeff Jarrett, may the best Jeff win. That's funny. Next, 3 Live Crew, which is Conan and BG James defeating Team Canada, which is Bobby Roode and Erik Young in a meh match to win the TNA Tag Team titles. BG James, for those who don't know, oh you didn't know, is Road Dogg, and hearing him do the exact skit that he did in 1998 is just grating. Oh, TNA proudly presents, it's the soon-to-be Tag Team Champions of the World! Oh, rolling your eyes and going, get a new gimmick, please. Oh, wait, VKM. So maybe I don't want them to get a new gimmick. Do a fucking A. 10 years later, of course, from this, he wins the Tag Team titles in WWE this year. Fuck's sake. Team Canada beat James Storm and Christopher Daniels to win the belts. We'll talk about that more later on. Scott D'Amore is fucking woeful on the mic. Oh my god, he's bad. BG James is your crew man in peril. That's a funny joke. Team Canada fast tags, crowd are hot, and they can't chant USA because they're Canadians, obviously. Ref is distracted so Canada can cheat. It's all your generic tag team match. And it's good because BG James is your face in peril, which means we have minimal Conan time, which is good in my book. Trust me on that one. Conan gets the tag, the referee doesn't see it. Young gets 2 off a nice elbow off the top. The heels try to use a flag, which James counters, and he can finally get him mild because no one cares about Conan tag to hot tag to Conan. Mild tag to Conan. He gets an Alabama slam and the sunrise, but Roode breaks. Main event spinebuster by Roode on James. Conan stops a lariat attempt, allowing James to attempt a pump handle, but D'Amore distracts. Truth runs him off, and a facebuster gets the win for Conan, complete with fireworks. Ho fucking Ray. The match was alright? It's the best match of the show so far, in my opinion. Basically, it's a generic tag team formula. You people probably don't agree with this one, but it was just a generic tag team formula, fast tags, cheating to win, all that, and then Conan's involvement was minimal. I've said before in my vids that I give a generic tag match 2 stars. This one gets 1.5 stars because of the stick they were pulling at the start on the mic, which was awful. Okay, next, Raven is shown in his little cell thing. He's out of his mind. He cuts a promo that's it's fantastic. It's a great, crazy promo. And then we get a little vid of saying why Vince Russo should be the director of authority in one of those, yay, I don't want him on my screen. Speaking of things that I don't want on my screen, next we get a Piper's Pit segment. Fucking yes. Oh yes. He brings out the man who put the X in X Division before there was an X Division, which doesn't make sense. The man who put the X in X Division before there was an X Division was, of course, Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Roddy Piper wants to apologise to Jimmy Snuka for hitting him in the head with a coconut. In 1984... he pulls out a coconut and he wants Jimmy Snuka to hit Piper with him, but Snuka is the definition of a good guy and won't do it. So Kid Kash comes out and runs down Snuka and then lays into him, but Snuka gives out legend beats until Shane and Kazarian can come out and lay into Snuka. Sanjay Dutt makes the save, but then Kash smashes him in the face with a coconut because he's a dick. How's that one sound? This makes Piper mad. He chases Kash away. Kash is on the outside gloating about it. And it's the only good part about this segment, yeah? Kash is gloating about it. And Michael, Shane and Kazarian is looking at him going, dude, you've gone fucking too far. That's it. This whole thing was fucking terrible. Speaking of terrible, goddamn, these notes just write themselves, don't they? Monty Brown has gone mad without food and water for 24 whole hours. He's gone mad in the dark. He says something about Raven. No more something. No more shenanigans. No more fun and games. But when he turns about Abyss, he says, right? He says, I promise this is true. He says, no more constipation problems. Is this something that had been happening to Monty Brown? Sorry, with Abyss and I can't have my match because I've got constipation. Sorry guys, I don't know why. We get a video package saying that Trinity has issued an open challenge, which is lovely. Trinity comes out, she's got bloody Disco Inferno with her and Jonny Swinger. So of course, after Monty Brown's told us all about his constipation problems, we get another promo because this show's fucking full of them. Yeah, because no one showed up. No one showed up to answer the open challenge. But wait! Some bird attacks from behind, right? We see a woman from behind, all right? Black woman from behind. And Dom West, who is clearly just reading from a script, goes, "Can it be?" And you're going, we haven't seen her face, we don't know who this is. But this is actually quite a surprise. So, time out for a second. This is quite a surprise, because it's Jacqueline, who I legitimately thought was still employed by the WWE. Because, as Mike Tenay tells us on commentary, not, 4 months ago, maybe 5, she was the WWE Cruiserweight Champion. Now, Tenay should not be mentioning this little fact, should he, on commentary, at all. Alright? Anyway, yeah, Jackie gets rid of the goons, kicks Trinity off the apron onto them, follows with a crossbody. After a few punches, she hits a really, really legitimately nice release German suplex, but the goons interfere, so Trinity can get a moonsault for the win in 1 minute and 4 seconds. Oh, yeah. People, again, won't agree with me on this one. I gave this one half a star because it was nice, and there was nothing bad on it, and it was really short, which is good. It's good. Oh, anyway. Dusty has 55% of the votes now, which is good. Hudson's telling us all about that, but Christopher Daniels interrupts, and he's very confident about his match tonight. Next. Monsters Ball. So yeah, as I say, all 3 men have been locked in a darkened room for 24 hours, excuse me, with no food and no water. Again, I'll reiterate this point. I don't know how this has made them go mad. I just don't know. But they are. They're all crazy, apparently. And this is an important thing. If you're going to do something like that, yeah, this match needs to be right. There's a hardcore match, right? And then there needs to be this. This Monsters Ball match needs to be the most brutal match you've ever seen. Because they've all gone stir crazy, yeah? How's that one sound? Now, we get a nice little touch. Legitimate, all 3 men have been in a darkened room for 24 hours. So when they come out, you've got to assume that these cells are like part of the entranceway or something like that, because that's the only way this will work. But go on, we'll go with it. All 3 men come to the ring and are basically covering their eyes. They're shielding their eyes, like, oh no, it's so bright, I can't, yeah, I'm blinded. So that's a nice little touch. Have a guess how this one is. It's trash cans, brawling in the crowd, referee getting bumped, Abyss pulling out thumbtacks. Have a guess what happens? Yep, he gets fucking slammed on his own tacks, just like every single time he pulls out some thumbtacks. And get this, yeah, the fans are so impressed with Abyss getting dumped. He gets powerbombed onto his own tacks, right? It looks nasty. Blood running down his arms. Guess what the fans chant? Do they chant TNA? Do they fuck? Do they chant Abyss is awesome? Do they fuck? They chant Foley, because they're idiots. Absolute idiots. Oh, dear me. There's some nice wrestling moves in there, believe it or not, both by Brown. There's a nice T-bone suplex and a nice power slam. But, yeah, Brown gets the win with the pounce. And that's your lot. Less than 10 minutes. And you're just going, right. The best part about this match is about halfway through, they show a clip of some guy up in the rafters with a hood, and he looks dark, and it looks like Sting. I'm going to be honest. It looks just like it's not Sting, is it? We don't get told who it is, so that's good. It's just a normal hardcore match. It's just a generic, normal hardcore match. They don't bother, apart from the eyes at the start, they don't bother selling the sensory deprivation at all. None of them act particularly mental or crazy or anything like that. So yeah, it's just another normal hardcore match. So whereas the thing about it, in 2004, we've seen it all before. Shane Douglas is still very vexed outside. He's desperately wants to talk to whoever's in this limo, and the security guard is having absolutely none of it. Oh man, we get to see a meet and greet little thing of it's bad. You know, loads of people saying how far they've come to go for this and all that. There's a guy from There's a podcast in there, Over the Top Rope. One of the guys is there. One of the guys, it's like they're reading the lines off the card. Say this. Say TNA is the best. TNA is the best. It's that bad. And then they show a couple of meet and greets with the wrestlers, and you've got a couple of like 3 or 4 months going TNA, TNA, TNA. Oh, it looks terrible. It makes them look like such a small company. Okay, in the only good match of the night, Petey Williams defeats AJ Styles in a good match to retain the X Division Championship. We've got, not only is the X Division Championship on the line, no, we need more. So Scott D'Amore has said that if Petey Williams loses tonight, he will leave TNA forever. So we're all rooting for Styles here, aren't we? Petey's the champion, like I say. Good build-up video package, so it shows off the Styles Clash and the Canadian Destroyer. That is legitimately nice. After some really nice... I'm going to go through this one for you, because we haven't done it yet so far. So after some really nice, fast-paced, back-and-forth action, we get an amazing, and it is, an amazing dropkick to the face by AJ. He wants a moonsault to the outside, but lands on his feet when Petey moves. But he's able to hit a kick and slam Petey into the barrier, and then he gets a fucking sweet flipping dive to the outside. D'Amore gets a cheap shot in, so Williams can do an evil tree of woe while standing on Styles' balls. Made all the better by the fact that he's singing the Canadian national anthem while he does it. That gets my fucking thumbs up. That's good shit. AJ gets a moonsault kick, he goes up top, but he's put in the tree of woe again, and this time, instead of just taking it like a fucking man, he does something that, you know, you look at and just go, how the fuck? Bear in mind, he's where's Hogan when I need him? Come here, Hogan. Bear in mind, he's upside down, right? And you've got Petey here, right, on the top turnbuckle. Styles is like that, isn't he? Yeah. He swings round and hits a German suplex. And you're going, the fucking strength that he must have to do that. Unlucky, Hogan, you just got Germans. Yeah, probably for the first time in your life. Ha ha! No, Angle did it, didn't he? Anyway, the point is, yeah, it's one of those, that was impressive. Like, really impressive spot. Now I've lost my place. Crowd are red hot for this one. Dueling, let's go Petey, let's go AJ stand. That's really nice. AJ gets a Heskey kick, sweet belly to back suplex, and a springboard forearm for 2. Petey comes back with a lovely Russian leg sweep. He calls for Destroyer. That's countered into a Styles Clash attempt. That's also countered. We got various cover attempts leading to D'Amore getting the title belt. So the referee gets rid of him. Petey gets the hockey stick, brings that in. Referee spots that, so Petey can get the original belt, whack AJ Styles with it. But that, and you are convinced that's the finish, but no! Styles kicks out in a brilliant near fall. They go up top, where D'Amore once again interjects himself, pushes AJ off, and then Petey, oh man, amazing. I mean, you know how I feel about the Canadian Destroyer. It's a fucking stupid move. It's if you're treating wrestling like it's realistic, there is no more unrealistic move than the Canadian Destroyer. Trust me on this one. But when Petey's on Brett's rope, comes down onto AJ Styles' neck and hits the Canadian Destroyer, fucking Christ, it's nice, and that gets the win. And yeah, that's the best match of the show. Promise you. It's a little bit overbooked with D'Amore, but seen as it's one of those things that bear in mind what everything else that's happened on this show. You're happy to give it 3 stars. You might even give it more than that, just because you're feeling in such a, because this pay-per-view's been wank so far. Let's be honest here. You're 2 hours in, and this has been shit. All up and down bollocks, right? So yeah, this is your shining light. This is your good match. You're thinking, this is good. The next match will surely be good. The main event's got potential to be good. Fucking save this show, TNA, please. In the back, Jeff Hardy screams at a mirror, which is good for him, I suppose. And then our semi-main event is America's Most Wanted, which for those who don't know is Chris Harris and Cowboy James Storm. The Wildcat Chris Harris. Apparently. Defeating Triple X, which is Erik Skipper and Christopher Daniels, in an elimination last team standing match. I get this. Fucking weird build to this one. America's Most Wanted are meant to be facing the tag team champions, but Storm is not cleared to wrestle. So Triple X take their place. But Daniels is then taken out earlier on in the show by the Naturals, because they were the tag team champions, right, before they can. So they make Harris team up with Skipper in Daniels' place, and Harris and Skipper win the belts, alright? And then on the 24th of September Impact, Daniels and Storm are made to team up and challenge the new champions, which they not only do, but they win the championships, alright? Then a couple of weeks later, they dropped the tag team titles to Team Canada, and the two teams were able to rejoin and start beating up their opponents again. Weird, weird, weird booking. Tonight they face off in a last team standing match, which is a last man standing match, but it's fought under Texas deathmatch rules. So you've got to either pin or make your opponent submit, and then they get a 10 count to answer before they get up. That's fucking weird. In the build up to this, one of the things that had happened in that weird, confusing time is that Daniels hit Storm in one of the worst chair shots. I mean, I'm not in the worst, like that was terrible, in one of the worst chair shots I've ever seen, because he whacked him so hard on the knee that Storm went flying. So surely there's your story, work on the knee. And even better, Storm comes out with a fucking great big bandage on his leg. There's your story. Alright, nice and simple. Harris gets the first 3 count with a nice TKO, but Daniels gets up. Harris hits a bomb on Daniels, who comes back with a backbreaker. Triple X with a nice double suplex. Storm doesn't bother selling the leg at all. The commentators mention it. Every time Storm does a move, say Storm does a suplex, the commentators they'll say, look, I can't believe he can actually pull off a suplex like that with the injured leg. That's a nice little touch. It'd make it mean 1,000,000,000% more if he'd sold the leg. But fuck it, you know, TNA and all that. Yeah. As I write that, though, of course, Daniels then starts attacking the knee. Only briefly, though. They hit a foobar and then hit the knee with a chair. Storm is pinned and can't answer the 10 count and is eliminated. Alright? The allegedly best moonsault ever misses, and Daniels eats a spear for 2. Skipper botches something, not sure what he's going for there. Leg drop on Harris. Sorry, leg drop by Harris on Daniels gets 3 and the 10 count. Now, here's an important thing here. When I first watched this, I missed the 10 count. I hadn't actually realised that he'd been eliminated. Genuinely. Okay? Skipper does things. And I say this because he looks like he doesn't have a fucking clue where he is. Everything he does looks sloppy as shit, alright? And then a catatonic on a chair gets 2, but the referee says it was a 3 count. Skipper kicked out, alright? And then that turns into the 10 count to eliminate Skipper, meaning that Harris wins. Triple X then handcuff America's Most Wanted together and turn them into a pile of liquid goo with chair shots, alright? Apparently, Skipper suffered a concussion in this match, which is why, early on in the match, which is why everything he did looks atrocious. But the important thing here, I think, is that they do lots and lots of 10 counts. The 10 counts come off nothing, like that leg drop by Harris that eliminated Daniels. You shouldn't be staying down for that, is what I'm trying to say. This match, you can probably imagine, no structure. I was so looking forward to this. I thought after the last match, this, with those 4 men in the ring, this will be good. And it just wasn't. It was really, really piss poor. Scott Hudson talks to Jarrett, who says that Jeff Hardy has no hope. Then, in the ring, Tenay tells us that Dusty is the director of authority. He's won the vote. Lovely. Dusty comes out and talks about something and drones on and on and on and on. He sat there going, isn't there a main event meant to be happening? No, we're just getting Dusty talking. How's that sound? Jeff Hardy. He's been gone from WWE from what, 2003? Basically, the reason I say that, I think this match, Jeff Hardy versus Jeff Jarrett for the championship in a ladder match, I do think that is a draw. This would have made people buy the pay-per-view, I think. Because it's like, oh, I wonder what Jeff Hardy, I remember Jeff Hardy. A lot of people, Extreme Dave, for example, our old friend, his favourite wrestler forever was Jeff Hardy. So he probably turned into this because he wanted to see Jeff Hardy, you know? But yeah, Jeff Jarrett defeating Jeff Hardy in a terrible ladder match to retain the NWA World Championship. I'd actually forgotten, I should have mentioned this on the tag belts, shouldn't I? But yeah, NWA belts. These aren't the TNA belts, these are the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance ones. So these belts last seen in the proper public eye in the early 90s with WCW. So it's like one of those, oh yeah, I think it's a nice little touch because it gives them a little bit of legitimacy. The problem is, of course, is the NWA belts have meant nothing for a decade at this point. So it's one of those, oh yeah, it swings and roundabouts sort of thing. Anyway, oh, just one more thing I need to point out is, if anyone ever wants to give me an NWA title belt, I would be your friend forever, because I've got lots of belts, as you know. That's the one that I've always wanted, and every time they come up on eBay, they're just too expensive. Way, way too expensive. Alright, come on, let's go through this bullshit because my back's really hurting. So, Hardy's best mate in the storyline is Kevin Nash, alright? But just remember, he's not here, okay? We've been assured, what, 3 times now, that he's definitely not here, alright? Hardy is painted green, and he looks a fucking mess. He looks like he's off his face on something or multiple things, alright? He takes a ladder to the ring, which is a smart move, I suppose, but one of the drama things of the match is to get a ladder in, but yeah, fuck him. Jarrett is whipped into the ladder, then trapped in one. Hardy hits a leg drop into the ladder. You know the leg drop he does, he opens a person's legs and leg drops into the box? Yeah, he does that, but with a ladder. He puts Jarrett onto the upside down ladder, so it's in a V, and then stands on his back. I don't know how that would hurt, if I'm honest. Hardy climbs slowly. He puts the ladder in and climbs slowly, despite the fact he's taken no offence whatsoever. Jarrett at this point has given him nothing, alright? So he should be able to just climb up the ladder, surely. No, he does the classic ladder match slow climb, because he's fucked, or something, I don't know why. He gets knocked off. He looks like he's going to go for the stroke on Jarrett, but then changes his mind, hits a leg sweep, then misses a dive so Jarrett can take control, dropping Hardy onto a ladder on the outside, then ramming one into his face. He props up a ladder on the outside and whips Hardy into it. Jarrett climbs, but is knocked down. Jeff Hardy. No, I've lost my place now. Ah, shit. Ah, it's because I pressed down 4 times instead of 3, because I'm an idiot, and you watch my vids. Jarrett climbs, but is knocked down. Jarrett is put on a ladder, and Hardy swan-toms him onto it, climbs, and here's Scott Hall to hit a shit-looking razor's edge. Most of Hardy's offense so far is focused on the back of Jarrett, and Jarrett sells it, well, he doesn't sell it at all, is the truth. Doesn't bother selling it one little bit. I understand in ladder matches you're not going to expect much selling, much psychology, anything like that, but every move that Jeff has done has been on the back, alright? Jarrett, 20-year pro, says, fuck selling. I ain't selling for you, I ain't selling for no one. You know, it's one of those. Hardy sets up 2 ladders, jumps onto one, it's in a sort of, one's in a V, and then there's another one across the V, alright? And Jeff jumps on one end of it, so the ladder goes, one of the ladders goes up into Jarrett's face, and from one angle looks really nasty, but then they show the side angle of it, yeah, it misses Jarrett's face by a clear foot, and it looks shite. You know, do you know? Jarrett doesn't bother selling it, of course. Both climb up, but Jeff with a horrible looking face buster. Hall pulls Hardy out of the ring, enabling Jarrett's climb. Hardy stops him at the very last moment. Hardy climbs, but Jarrett pushes the ladder over, so Hardy lands on Hall and gives him beats, and then hits a dive onto the outside onto the 2 heels. Jeff brings out his big fucking ladder out, because of course we need 3 ladders for reasons, and then he sets it up on the outside. For reasons that I just cannot fathom. I don't understand why. No, you gotta get the belt, alright? Go get the belt. Nah, I want to put it on the outside. And then they both climb up, and you're going, do you guys want the belt or not? Because surely, right, get this. This is what I'm thinking, right? Jeff Hardy climbs up the ladder for reasons, right? We've established this. If it's me, if I'm Jarrett, I look at him and go, look, you're fucking 10 feet away from the belt, mate. I'm gonna go get your belt. Match is over. So Jarrett looks like a fucking muppet by climbing the extra tall ladder. That somehow, I don't know how it works, but it ends up falling over. Both men land on the fucking entrance ramp. The ladder whacks Scott Hall right in the face as it comes out. That makes me chuckle. I'm guessing it wasn't meant to happen though. Scott Hall's just that wanker. The fuck, and then the ladder hits him in the face. And you know, Jesus Christ. Ask Extreme Dave. He knows all about how that one feels. That's true. Extreme Dave mentioned it. I saw him a week ago, if that makes sense. Oh, fuck, I'm filming this in September. That doesn't make any... I'll have to edit that shit out. Yeah, so... Both men no-sell the shit out of falling off the biggest ladder in the building and set up ladders of their own in the ring because they need 2, right? Oh, and then this match has been so fucking awful at this point, right? It just descends to a whole new level of shit here because, right, they set up a ladder each. Jeff kicks his ladder away and climbs onto Jarrett's ladder, Jeff Hardy that is, onto Jarrett's ladder, right? And then goes up top, and I promise you this is all happens. He tries to do a sunset flip, right? He floats over, does the first bit thing, that's fine. The power bomb off it, oh my God, you will not see a worse sunset flip. I promise you. You will not see a worse sunset flip than this one. Until they try to repeat the spot. Okay, because Jarrett goes, look, we'll do it again. He stands on the apron. So Jeff Hardy's got a springboard over the thing, sunset flip to the floor, gonna look nasty, and they managed to fuck this one up worse than the first one. If you can believe that, these two flips are horrendously bad. They are so shit. Haul back in. But he eats a shitty looking twist of fate. Because you know how to take a twist of fate on your front. He takes it like, he goes down his knees and goes, bleh. And you're just like, wow, that looks rubbish. Jeff Hardy climbs, Jeff Jarrett stops him with a chair. Jeff Jarrett climbs with a guitar for reasons that you, again, cannot fathom. Just go and get your belt. Don't bring a fucking guitar in. But wait! Here's Kevin Nash, who definitely, 100% categorically is not here, alright? Kevin Nash comes out looking, he looks like he's drunk, alright? He looks like he truly doesn't give a shit. He's wearing sweatpants, for example. He comes out, he's got a guitar over each shoulder, stumbles to the ring, and then, predictably, gives Hall a guitar. He hits him with a guitar. Nash hits him with a guitar. Hits Hardy, that is, of course, because it's not going to hit Jarrett. Why would they? Because remember, Nash is Hardy's best mate. So whacks him with a guitar. Hall whacks him with a guitar. And of course, Jeff Jarrett, who's all at the top, because that's the thing, Jeff Hardy had noticed that Kevin Nash was coming out, and to his credit, he thought, well, best go and get me belt then. Now, instead of climbing up a giant ladder again and jumping onto Nash, I'll go get me belt. So they're both up there. They're two guitar shots. And of course, don't forget, Jeff Jarrett's got his fucking balsa wood guitar as well, and he hits him so that Jeff fucking Jarrett can retain. But wait, there's more to this match. Don't go thinking, oh, that's it, at least that's it. No, because Nash gets on the mic and basically buries the entire roster by saying that he's made more money than all of them and that that none of them are a draw. Now, I don't care if that's a real point, because it probably is, that he probably made more money than the entire roster put together, and that, realistically here, there's not many people in the company who are true draws. But there's no point saying it. Anyway, he issues an open challenge. AJ Styles answers it, comes out, manages to get a shot in on each of them before the numbers can catch him up. So the 3 Live crew come out to make the save, and they all get beats as well. But then, holy shit, the limo! You remember the limo in the back that's definitely not got Kevin Nash in it? The limo opens up and some very familiar music hits. It's only fucking Randy Savage looking once again like someone's fucking stuck a needle in him and started fucking pumping him up. He's fucking huge, giant beard. And do you know what this man does? Randy Savage, the Macho King, comes out and points at their heels as the show goes off the air. He doesn't give out beats or anything. He's just sat there pointing at him while security are pulling him away. And that's the end of the show. First impressions count, yeah? Fucking hey, this was a first impression. This was one. Right, let's just talk about the main event for a second, right? Here's some points. There is no selling at all in this match. There is no structure. It just seems like Hall come out and like, oh, when should I go out? And like, whenever you want. No, fuck it, I'll go out now, sort of thing. There is botches all over the place. To Jeff Jarrett's credit, they are all on Hardy. All. Hardy looks so bad in this match, you wouldn't believe it. Terrible ending. And I don't see the point in Savage being there. It's all good to be able to say, look, we've got Randy Savage on our pay-per-view, but he didn't do anything. He'd best do a lot more than that at turning points. What? He's in the last part. Oh, fuck's sake. Right, let me tell you something, Willis. Let's go through this one. This show is a 1 out of 10 show. I'm going to give that match, yeah, -1 star. And, I only ever rated going to minus figures when I find it offensive, right? So most of the time it's just a dud rating. This was so shit. So very shit. This show feels like TNA have gone, right, we're going to throw everything at the wall. Let's throw everything and see what sticks. So we've got Piper's Pit, and we've got the the Little People's match, and we've got a bit of everything. And the thing is, in ring, it's fucking shite. There is one good match, right? And let's be crystal clear on this one. I gave Petey versus AJ Styles 3 stars. I wouldn't be surprised if people rated that at least half a star less. If you want to rate it more, fair enough. Yeah, there are things in there that you could give more to, but right. The rest of this card, the best match is a 1.5 stars. Alright? Like I say, as a first impression, this just makes you go, I ain't fucking watching that shite again. This was awful. This was awful, awful, awful. I know that TNA gets better. I've got a few of their shows from 2005 on DVD, for fuck's sake. But this, as a starting point, was fucking shit. 1 out of 10, right? I've got to give it 1 out of 10 because it's a wrestling show. I want to give it 0.5 or none. 0 out of 10. This has got no redeeming features. You will not go out of your way to watch Petey versus Styles. They've had better matches in the future, I promise you that, or in the past. You just know. Just no. It's one of those, this is one of those straight away, fuck TNA. Straight away. Off the bat, out of the gate, fuck TNA. Alright, how's that sound? So next up, ladies and gentlemen, in TNA, and we're doing Turning Point. I can't, at the top of my head right now, remember what the WWE's pay-per-view is in December, alright? I've been Mark P. Hit that subscribe button down below. Leave me a comment. What did you think of this? Am I wrong here? Am I completely wrong? Is this one of those, look, Mark, you're missing the point. You tell me what you thought of this show, alright? You tell me, because I thought it was fucking awful, alright? Subscribe, hit that like button, leave me a comment, check me out on Facebook, check me out on Twitter. I have been Mark P. Thank you so much for watching this episode of 10 years ago. Take it easy, guys.